The next part of the C&P exam I want to discuss is extremely important. And this is going to go to the heart of you describing your symptoms to the C&P examiner and also making sure that what you're describing is lining up with the evidence and lining up with the terminology utilized in the 38 CFR Schedule 4 under your claimed disability condition, making sure that it lines up with what level of severity within that matches your evidence and matches your condition. So first I'm going to quote directly from the 38 CFR 4.2, then we'll break it down. And it states, different examiners at different times will not describe the same disability in the same language. Features of the disability which must have persisted unchanged may be overlooked or changed for the better or worse, but not be accurately appreciated or described. It is the responsibility of the rating specialist to interpret reports of the examination in light of the whole record history, reconciling the various reports into a consistent picture so that the current rating may accurately reflect the elements of the disability present. And each disability must be considered from the point of view of the veteran working or seeking work. If a diagnosis is not supported by the findings on the examination report, or if the report does not contain sufficient detail, it is incumbent upon the rating board to return the report as inadequate for a reevaluation purposes. So it's very important that when you go to your C&P exam and you describe your symptoms to your C&P examiner, that you describe them on a worst day scenario or a baseline of your condition. Your goal is to give them a holistic approach of how you are over a long period of time, and for them to get that view, not a snapshot of how you are today or tomorrow, but rather give them a good, clear indication as to what your general condition is. Now, it's very important when you're doing this, like I said just a few minutes ago, that you go before the examination to the 38 CFR Part 4, find your disability you're claiming, go down, dig within that Schedule 4, under that disability that, like I said, you're claiming, and look at the different levels of percentages awarded to make sure that you are speaking to the appropriate domain within your Schedule 4 condition so that it accurately reflects the way that you are and the evidence that you have. It's important to clarify that that is not misleading in the C&P exam. What you're doing is conveying to them what your typical day is to where they get a baseline of your condition versus a up or down peak element of your condition. And it states here, the VA disability ratings are meant to reflect the true ongoing impact of a veteran's condition. It's up to you to convey it properly. However, different examiners may describe the same disability in varying ways, and temporary changes, for better or for worse, can be misinterpreted if only a single exam is considered. So the VA says to prevent unfair reductions or inaccurate ratings, the VA requires that rating specialists review the veteran's entire medical history, not just the most recent exam, okay? This means they must reconcile all available examination reports to form a consistent and accurate picture of the disability over time. So that's where that goes back to me describing, make sure that you describe a worst day scenario, because that's how you're going to be over time. It's important they get that correct image because that is the correct description of your condition. And the VA wants this to happen because they want your condition to be properly reflected in the record so that you be rated correctly. So here is my recommendation to you before you go to your C&P exam, okay? Every claim condition that you have submitted, you need to have a cover sheet on that condition with the diagnosis of the claim condition, the in-service event that caused this condition, okay? And then under each one of those, list all the supporting evidence that you have that is submitted with that claim. And be sure that you keep the originals and make a copy that will be submitted to the VA. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your originals to your C&P exam. And when you get there, you're going to politely let the examiner know that for their convenience, you have brought all of your evidence with you, because you do understand that there are times that the VA fails to get the full record to them of your condition. Your goal is to be able to get into a dialogue with the C&P examiner so that they will take the time to understand your evidence, understand your level of severity, understand the in-service event, so that they can properly determine your nexus, which is the link between the in-service event and the claim condition, to where you get the outcome that is proper and expected. And by having your evidence with you gives you the opportunity to look at that in conjunction with them and to answer and clarify any questions they may have. Because I will tell you, the C&P examiners are extremely busy. They a lot of times only get these files maybe sometimes even a few hours before you come in. And I think, in my opinion, it's probably quite frequent that they don't have a chance to review the file that much before you get there. Now, I did this in my C&P exams, and I had great results. I just make sure that I'm very polite, very courteous. You don't want to give them the impression that you're trying to steer them in any way, or that you're trying to come across like you are an expert in the medical field. Your goal is to provide convenience and also have the opportunity to properly discuss your situation and the evidence at hand. It's extremely important that you have evidence. VA compensation, disability compensation claims are won on evidence, not subjective information.